In each episode of this series, I will offer an applicant a blind choice of either a pleasant experience, a treat, or a darker trick. They won't know which one they've chosen, and they may not know how or when it will happen to them. All the applicants responded to advertisements. These are the 6 people that I've selected. They just don't know it yet. Welcome to Trick or Treat. Tonight's applicant is Richard, a 20-year-old student from Wolverhampton. We've been observing him for the last few weeks to build up a profile and to monitor his movements to and from his flat. He lives a quiet and predictable life, which might be fun to shake up a bit. At 3 a.m. one morning in March, we've gathered outside his house, where he is hopefully asleep. His girlfriend has been persuaded to lend us a set of keys. I'm going to quietly break in and introduce myself.
It's okay, Richard. It's okay, Richard. It's okay, Richard. Hello. Hi. It's Derren Brown. Nice to meet you. You too. You volunteered to be part of the show a while back. Do you remember? Yeah. Okay. We'd like to use you in the show. I need to explain to you how the show works. Okay. All right. Yeah. What you do is you choose a card. One of 2 cards. And the card will either say trick, or the card will say treat. If you pick the card that says treat, then what happens to you will be something nice. If you pick the one that says trick, it won't be. Okay. Okay? You won't know which one you've picked. You happy to play? Okay. You're going to sign this. Now it's a little bit too dark to read. But it's a contract that allows us to do what we like with you. You need to sign that along the bottom there. I'll hold that for you. Thank you. Choose one of the 2 cards, Richard. That one. Okay. Okay. Let yourself go back to sleep.
For Richard's trick, I'm going to have him collapse asleep in London and wake up 1,500 miles away in Morocco with no explanation. And for that, I'll need his passport. He will have no memory of the journey or of any time having passed. More of Richard's adventure later. Meanwhile, I've met up with the League of Gentlemen for a discussion about fate and mini-rolls. Hello.
Hello there.
Hi guys. Actually, would you grab a little chocolate roll from the tray
From
there,
here?
and then,
Certainly.
there are 5 there, so if you can take one each, and if somebody can just put the last one in their pocket, that would be great. And come and sit down any chair that you like. Any one of these 4.
Hello,
And,
how are you?
Steve, pleasure.
Hello.
Thank you. And Jeremy, nice to meet you. Have you got the last one that wasn't chosen? In your pocket, great. Keep that in there for the moment. Thank you very much. Well, look, thanks so much for coming out. Thanks for doing this. I want to show you these. There's 4 cards. There's something on the other side, but if you just mix them up for me, don't turn them over yet, and push them in the middle. If you can all just take one each, doesn't matter at the moment which one you take, but if you can just pull one towards you. On each card, there's a message, and I want you just to have a look and memorise now the message that you've got. Done that?
Yep.
Great, lovely, and I'll have those back. Thank you very much. Excellent. Do any of you believe in fate at any level?
Yes.
Genuinely?
I do, yeah.
Yeah?
I think things happen because they're meant to happen.
I believe in some fates, but no other. I believe that we create our own destiny.
Oh, you've got to come up with a different belief system now.
No, genuine.
I know,
I
you're trying to do
talk.
comical answers to it, but I think, I think I agree with Steve. I think you do. Your instinct often leads to exactly where you're meant to be.
You superstitious fools.
It's kind of about decisions, isn't it? And decisions that you make without sort of realising even that you're necessarily making decisions. And it's only in hindsight you go, I suppose if I hadn't have walked that way or gone to that party or met that person. A bit like, for example, the chairs that you sat in, and I sort of made a point of saying sit in any chair, and I presume you weren't thinking particularly about which chair you were going to sit in before you sat down. Or the choice of the cards that you picked, which again, I told you not really to think about it and just take them. And they all had a message on. What was the message? What was your message?
It was a colour. It said, I will choose blue.
I will choose blue. Have you any idea what that refers to?
Blue's my favourite colour. I'm wearing a blue
You're wearing a blue
shirt.
shirt? Perfect.
The mini rolls are blue.
It actually doesn't refer to any of those things. It refers to a sheet of card that's underneath the cushion on your chair that you're sat on. And if you pull it out, you have to reach under the cushion.
Under the cushion.
Yeah. Da-da-da. A blue sheet of card. And what did yours say, Mark?
I will choose green.
Pull it out.
And the card.
And it out. Very good. Jeremy, just to see where this is going. Jeremy, yours said, I will choose yellow. Yellow, that's right. Take it out for me. Which leaves you with the red, I believe.
Wow.
Excellent. So you see what I mean. And they're kind of decisions that aren't important, but you make them without thinking about it. And this is kind of an area that I find interesting. And it's also the good or bad consequences that you can avoid, or things that you never knew would have happened had you made different decisions. And this, for me, this goes back to, and this is why the chocolates actually do play a role. When I was about 10, I was in a supermarket queue with my mum, and she bought these, not these particular ones, but and I was petitioning her to open them and eat them before we'd paid for them, and she was getting a bit angry with me, a bit stressed, and in her annoyance sort of ushered the lady behind us to come through ahead of us in the queue because she only had, milk or something. And then we all paid for our stuff, and the woman went out, we went out. When we went out, there was a crowd that was gathered in the car park, and this woman who we'd allowed ahead of us had been hit by a car, and she was laying on the car park. And so at the age of 10, I'm then going home thinking, God, if I hadn't have wanted to tuck into those mini rolls, my mum wouldn't have let that woman go ahead, and would it have been my mum that got hit by the car? And you start to kind of do those things in your head. Hence the mini rolls. Would you, and carefully, if you don't mind, would you just open them and try not to break or touch the chocolate, and just sort of put them on the plates. Thank you. Lovely, thank you. And again, did you think about which ones you took? There were 5 altogether, weren't there? So you've got, Jeremy, the last one in your pocket. But otherwise than that, you just sort of grabbed. You just grab
Random.
And you presume that they are indeed mini rolls.
They look like mini rolls.
They do, don't they?
It could be razor blades.
Could be. Yeah. Why don't you just take a bite out of them? Go on. Nice big bite.
Nothing wrong with them.
Take a bite?
Nice.
Jeremy, you just take a larger bite.
There's a fish hook inside.
Oh.
Oh!
What's that? What is that in there?
What is something in there?
No, it's just sponge and cream.
Just the way he was eating it, he made it look like it was...
Jeremy. Look at this mess.
Yeah. No, that's fine. That's great. No, that's what I was hoping for. Excellent. So the last one, there was one left. You put one in your pocket, didn't you? You pull that out. Now look, you need to really carefully, Jeremy, just undo that, and just so we don't confuse them. Don't just pass me your plates. Get that out of the way. Okay. Okay, just on there. All right.
Why me?
So look, before you do this, and do be careful, but you did just take any one.
Yes.
I would suggest you just take hold of the edges of it and just...
Which way? Towards you?
Yeah, either way, really. Just do be careful.
The gas.
And again, I'd go a little bit further in. Careful.
Look.
Oh, Jesus.
Dirty.
Just,
Get out with those.
It is a razor blade, is it?
It is.
Jesus.
Send it back.
Wow.
There it is, look.
Oh my
yeah, that's what I was hoping it would be the one you didn't. Thank you for coming on.
Thank
Take
you.
your pardon, that. Pleasure. And
For
Mark,
saving
thank
our
you so much.
lives.
You're shaky. And Reece.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
That was literally just pick any one, wasn't it?
It was. There was no compulsion. There was no shenanigans.
No, totally random. We walked in a random order, chose random chocolates, sat down in random chairs, so...
And also, you'd have ended up with two and you just picked
One. No, I could have changed my mind at the last minute.
And all sealed up and then within it.
That's the thing. How do you get it in there?
Well, it's
How do you get it in there?
Don't know.
I mean, in what? It's slightly irresponsible.
Derren Brown Bakery. I knew it.
Since Richard picked the trick card, I now have license to shake up his regulated world. He's going to wake up in Marakesh, somewhat outside his comfort zone, and this journey starts here. He's catching an early train to Waterloo, and we know he needs to get some passport photos urgently, so we're hoping he'll take the bait and step into the fake photo booth that we've set up. All the cameras are hidden.
One coin at a time, don't you?
Richard, sit comfortably. This is Derren. Just allowing your eyes to close. Really relax. They're going to come and give you a hand. Just allowing your eyes to close. They're going to come and give you a hand. Just allowing your eyes to close. The complementary patterns of light and sound are designed to send Richard plummeting into a catatonic state.
Okay, let's get the van, let's get in there.
Both Richard and our fake photo booth are embarking on an extraordinary journey. Now, I don't know how long he will remain asleep for, but for the first half hour or so, I talk gently to him to keep him in this state. We arrive at Heathrow Airport a bit late and apprehensive about the check-in. As it turns out, we get through check-in and security without a hitch, but the authorities don't allow filming after passport control. However, we do take a series of snaps throughout the journey. Any recognisable faces and logos are blurred. Richard is now sleeping very happily with no help from me. In America's New York, I use my award-winning powers to plant a word in the slightly smaller American brain without anybody knowing how. Guys, you're free for a couple of minutes. Do you want to come and do this?
Sure.
It's a kind of a mind-reading sort of experiment. I need you to call somebody that you know.
Okay.
All right? Does your cell phone have a speakerphone? It does? Excellent. Good. Do you want to get someone on? Is there someone you can call you think will be in? Right. What's this person's name?
Joe.
Okay. Well, if Joe isn't in, we can try someone else.
Yeah.
Is that on speaker at the moment? Yeah. Great, cool. Actually, if you want to hold it, if you hold it in your hand like that, then we'll both be able to hear it, and the mic will be able to pick it up too.
Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, just stay on the line and talk to me, okay?
Alright.
Hi, Joe. My name's Derren Brown. I'm a kind of English psychological illusionist, if that makes any sense. And I want to try a kind of a mind-reading experiment with you, all right?
Alright.
I need to ask you a few questions, Joe. I need to know a few things about you. Please be honest. How old are you, Joe?
I'm 18.
18, fantastic. And are you a student? Do you work, or?
I'm a student.
What do you study? Are you at school, or what do you major in?
I actually go to culinary school.
Culinary school, thank you, that's really interesting. Great. All right, listen, so I'm going to write something down here. I'm not going to show Jessica or any of these guys what it is. I'm going to ask you to be doing 3 things in a moment, all right? Joe, let me just explain. You're going to be writing a word in your mind on like a big chalkboard. You're going to be saying the words yourself over and over again. And then you're also going to try and do the whole thing without really thinking about it, right? So that's 3 different kind of cogs that are going to be going round in your mind at the same time, all right? But let me just write something here first. Okay. Okay, cool. Joe, I need you to imagine that you are, 6 years old back in elementary school, all right? And imagine you're picking up a piece of chalk.
Okay.
Then you're going to start writing a word very large and clear on this chalkboard, and then just tell me when you're done.
Alright, I'm done.
You're happy that was a free choice of word, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I've written something here, and you won't be able to see what I've written, but hopefully you'll be able to tell by Jessica's reaction as to whether it's at all close. What was the word that you wrote?
Bicycle.
Bicycle. Not bad!
Tricycle, yeah?
I was one wheel out, tricycle. Thank you, Joe. Thanks for your help. Thank you very much. Cool.
Thanks, Joe.
I thought he was going to be completely wrong and it'd be like a complete sham, but then you got tricycle. I'm pretty amazed, actually.
I think he's psychic. Like, there's no other explanation for it, because how else would he do it?
Our participant, Richard, was offered a blind choice of trick or treat. His trick started when he collapsed in a photo booth in London. Although he doesn't know it, he and that photo booth have travelled 1,429 miles and are now in Marakesh. He has been asleep for 13 hours, but when he awakes, not a second will have passed in his mind. Whilst he was asleep, an anonymous envelope containing his passport, his return flight details and some money were placed in his pocket. After a long and bizarre journey, which for him has simply never happened, Richard is about to receive his wake-up call. All cameras are very well hidden. applicant tonight is Anne, a 75-year-old lady from North London. She's travelling on the bus, as she does most days, but today we've secretly taken control of the vehicle. We've wired our recorders into the onboard security cameras, and all of the passengers apart from Anne are actors.
I don't like takeaways either. I like a pizza, now and again. I do like a pizza.
The driver has been told to leave his normal route and drive to a secluded spot where we have more hidden cameras waiting.
I'll have a look at her and ask her. I won't say anything. What's going on?
Stay where you are.
Oh dear. Pleased to meet you, Derren.
Very pleased to meet you. You've applied to come on the show, and we'd love to use you.
Really?
We'd love to use you on the show.
You're picking me, are you?
I'm picking you right now.
God, now my tummy goes.
I'm pleased to hear it. Let me explain how the show works, all right? So listen very carefully. What happens to you on the show depends on your choice of one of these two cards here, all right? Now you'll see one of them says trick on it, and one of them says treat.
Right.
Okay? Now, if you pick the card that says treat, and I'll put them there where you can see them. Yes. If you pick the card that says treat, then what happens to you will be something lovely and something you'll really enjoy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you pick the one that says trick, then it won't be. It'll be something a bit horrible. Do you want to play it?
Yes, please.
You do? Excellent. Pleased to hear it. So first of all, I need to get you to sign this, which is your contract. That just allows us to do anything we like with you.
You can... Oh. I'm a bit shaky, so you have to...
That's all right. No, you shake away.
Because
That's right.
I'm...
Signed by contributor. That's you just there. Thank you very much indeed. That's lovely. Thank you, Anne.
Thank you. Oh, God, what have I done?
OK. Let's see what you pick. So, you're going to choose one of these two, and you're going to choose it just by putting your finger on it just for a second. Excellent. OK. Well, I don't want you to see what you've picked.
Okay.
So if you face the other way and close your eyes for a second, I'm going to show the camera, but I'm not going to let you see for now.
Okay.
OK. Thank you, Anne. You can look back now. So that's all for now, and you'll hear from us in the next couple of weeks.
Really?
Yes.
Thank you.
See you soon. We'll learn more about Anne's treat later on.
You are. I really thought I was being kidnapped, to be honest.
So, despite my winning 3 Olivier Awards and 4 BAFTAs, Madame Tussauds in London still refused to do one of me as if they couldn't melt down Alan Titchmarsh and add a goatee. So, to show them what an asset my presence there would be, I had a go at being a waxwork for a day. So as you stand there, looking at me, and just with the sound of my voice right there in the centre of your head and floating all the way around you, even though you know that it's just a mannequin, just a doll stood there, you can absolutely imagine that feeling coming from your feet, where your feet are at the moment, rooted into the ground. Maybe you find your eyelids growing heavy and wanting to close, and just allowing yourself to drift away, eyes open or eyes closed, it doesn't matter. And as you listen to my voice and stand there quite still, looking at me there, and you wonder, maybe feel fall over, but you won't fall over. You can stand quite comfortably as your mind just switches off. And it's almost like you become one of the waxworks yourself. And the more you stick, the more you notice how stuck you become. And the more you try in vain to unstick yourself, the more and more that you stick. A relaxed sticking feeling right the way through your arms and your fingertips, right the way down into your feet, rooting them into the floor. Sticking, locking, gluing, gelling, cementing, bonding, fusing and welding tighter and tighter into place as you feel yourself locking rigidly but so comfortably into place, like you just switch off. And the more you try to unstick yourself harder and harder, the more you stick and the more you remain in that wonderfully comfortable stuck state.
because you wonder just how long you could indulge yourself for. And it feels great, doesn't it?
As I was looking at him, I just kind of got number, and I felt like my body was turning really statue-like hard.
I just kind of felt really sucked in by the lights because they were like whirling around.
We only caught the end bit of it, but I actually started drifting off. But then everything just stopped and it was fine.
It's been 2 weeks since I met Anne on the bus. I've now asked her to meet me at Victoria House in central London. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you,
Nice to
Mr.
see you
Brown.
again. Thank you.
Thank you,
Actually,
thank you.
don't call me Mr. Brown.
Oh.
Sir's fine. Anne still has no idea of what I have planned for the next week. You play a little bit of cards, is that right?
Yes, not anything special. I play brag, rummy, a pontoon.
Okay. Just with friends or
With just my husband and his friend.
Well, a week from now, we're going to enter you in a poker game with some world-class poker players.
Oh, no.
With the idea that you're going to win quite a lot of money from them. So over the course of the next week...
I don't play poker.
I know you don't play poker. But you see, if you did play poker, you'd have a way of playing which would get in the way. I'm going to teach you my way of playing. That's a royal flush.
Oh, a royal flush.
I teach her the rules of the poker game she'll have to play to world standard next week, namely Texas Hold'em. It's important she doesn't become too stuck on learning the rules at this stage, as they'll get in the way of the psychological techniques I want her to pick up on. Essentially, the structure of the game is sort of fairly simple. The fun starts in terms of how you bet. Players obviously try and keep their cards a secret, so I'm going to teach Anne some skills at telling what card a person is holding.
Ace, king, queen, jack...
First, I demonstrate by trying to tell her what card she's thinking of. The ability to read physical cues accurately will be invaluable when she's faced with the professional players. I might give that away, so I'd say it's probably the Jack of Spades.
Yes.
Is that it?
Yes.
Excellent, okay. So...
God.
Ace. Using a friend who's a poker enthusiast to help us out, I ask Anne to try and guess the card he's thinking of just by watching and listening to him.
Well, I'm going to go for spades.
You go for spades. I'm going to go for diamonds. I think it's king of diamonds. Was that it? Was that it? Okay.
I'm never going to do this.
Oh, yes, you
Derren.
are. By the end of this, you'll be able to do this. You'll be able to do this like that. I show her how to create a certain state of mind, one in which she has the confidence to totally believe that she's capable of winning. Your responsiveness and your receptivity opening up. Even though she may not understand this process, it is important that she trusts her instincts, in this case, regarding the first card that comes to mind. I haul in our makeup artist and we start again.
9, 10.
Did anything at all occur to you during that, or...?
When she counted 9.
Okay, and the suit?
Hearts.
Hearts. Anywhere close?
8 of diamonds.
8 of diamonds. Okay, close your eyes for me. In your mind, you're going to feel that confidence and that openness. I have Anne refocus and get her to try the exercise again using her heightened receptivity.
Jack, queen, king.
You got one? What was the card?
5 of diamonds.
5 of diamonds. That's really good.
What have you done to my brain?
Great, okay, well, it'd be lovely, if you don't mind a bit of homework, just to have a look at that and just get your husband to test you. It'd be great.
I must admit, I'm a little bit scared because I'm not very good with my memory sometimes. I suppose it's my age, I don't know. But Derren is absolutely marvellous, isn't he? I don't know how he gets to put things in your mind, but he does.
Throughout the week, Anne has been improving her skills by playing a few social games of poker.
Unfolding.
2 pairs.
Oh, well done.
I'm all right, but I'm still a little bit wary of the big one when it comes, when I'm playing professional poker players.
They must recognise her straight away. She can't play, sure.
It's all very well playing at home, but it will be a much tougher challenge against a group of world-class professionals. 2 days later, Anne joins me for our last session together before her big day.
When people talk about keeping a poker face, the idea is they're trying not to give it.
Yeah.
Reading a bluff is one of the hardest but most fundamental parts of poker.
Things that they will do.
There are numerous signs that give away information about a player's hand and intentions.
They're going to try and appear weak. If they've got a weak hand, they're going to try and appear strong.
I have her revisit her state of heightened receptivity.
And your ability to read the unconscious signals that people are giving off amplifies.
It's time now to build on her increased intuitive skills with some more exercises.
You're trying to get all the high cards.
A card will be identified as high, that's an 8 up to an ace, or low. And I get Anne to use her newly amplified intuition to sense a bluff as to whether the card is high or low.
This is a high card.
Low.
The cards are then placed face down into 2 separate piles according to her predictions.
This is a high card.
To get her used to reading a range of male faces rather than just mine, I have another card enthusiast try to bluff her as well.
I'll have that one, I believe you.
Okay, let's stop there. So 8 and above, you spread them out on the table.
She turns over the piles she believes to be high cards, and she scores pretty much 100%.
And these are all low. That's really good. That's very, very good.
Despite being confident that Anne has absorbed enough of my skills to compete well in the tournament, I cannot influence the random dealing of cards. So if she gets dealt bad cards on the day, she may still lose. Meanwhile, I'm in Las Vegas, where for some people, poker is an obsession. I pop into a nightclub to chat to some of the locals. I'm Derren.
Carolina.
Carolina, very good to meet you. And
Shannon.
Shannon, excellent. And April, very good to meet you. I realise it's a personal question, but if I asked you, is there a belief, either about yourself or about things generally, that you would like to believe more than you do? Something maybe you don't believe, but it'd be useful if you did believe, or...
That I could do better in school. I believe that I could get all my homework done.
But that image is sort of not quite certain somehow. Is that right? When you look at it, it doesn't sort of feel it doesn't feel solid. Is that maybe, and that makes it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
So difficult to sort of grasp hold of. Doesn't feel solid. Doesn't feel certain. Okay. Now where do you live? Do you live in?
I live in Vegas.
In Vegas, and so when you think of that, and you think that you live in Vegas, that's solid. All right. So that's a solid picture, and that makes you feel that's definitely live in Vegas. Yeah, that's clear. And the other one is a bit different. Now look, if you take this other image, all right, take the image of you succeeding and doing well, the one that feels a little bit kind of uncertain and difficult, and difficult to grasp. If you move that over here, take the same image of you being able to succeed and lock that into place, which is just there, isn't it? Now when you look at it, does that feel more certain?
Yeah, it does.
So as you look at it now, that image of you being able to succeed and write your paper, how does it feel when you look at it?
Like clear, kind of very sharp and achievable.
And achievable. Right. Absolutely. And be honest with me, does that make you now feel you believe that you can do it?
Honestly, yes, it does.
See, what's interesting is that little change, which took 10 seconds, can make all sorts of changes. Little things like that, you plant a little seed and that can make all sorts of changes in your life, which I don't know what they'll be, but I'm sure you'll find out what they are. Let me give you these. Take those for me.
Okay.
Just lay them out for me on there. Excellent. All right, let's move those like that. Will you just tell me what the colours are? Go.
Okay. Blue, green, yellow, red.
Excellent. Now you've done what everybody does,
okay,
which is perfectly understandable. Blue, green, yellow, red. They are, of course, the words, the names that we would normally give those colours. In fact, the situation is more complex. I'm sure you know as well as we all do that that's not actually blue. What it is, it's got a colour or a pigment or an ink that the light bounces off, that absorbs most of the light. The rest of the light hits our eyes. That message gets to our brain. Our brain says, you call that blue. And it's just a word we give to that sort of that light sensation. It's not actually blue. And anyway, who's to say that's blue anyway? Because you've got the weird sort of reflections in the laminate, and one blue could be another person's green. I mean, you wouldn't say it was definitely blue, would you? Well, definitely blue, but it's sort of
blue.
It's got different colours in it. Yeah. I mean, you could probably see all sorts of other colours in there if you look for long enough. It's not definitely blue, is it? No. Okay, excellent. And what about if I said this one here? You said this was yellow.
Right.
Okay, but again, it's who's to say it's yellow? I mean, would you say that was definitely yellow?
Not really.
Not really. Not
completely.
Definitely. Not completely yellow. I mean, there are all sorts of other colours in there. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you might see maybe it could be a little bit orangey. It's quite a warm colour, isn't it? There are lots of other warm colours like, like red or like an orange or something like that. I mean, would you say that was could be red? Could have a bit of red in it, maybe?
A little bit.
It's sort of related to that whole area. Yeah. I mean, you could absolutely lock that into place, and you could definitely see that as red, couldn't you? That's red, yeah? I mean, as a colour, if you looked at that as a colour and you had to name what colour that was, what would you say?
I'd say it was red.
You say that was red. Cool. And be honest, you know, so we've got, so these colours are...
A blue, a green, red, black.
Excellent, okay. Did you say you had your car outside?
Yeah.
Can we just go and have a look at your car? Is that all right? Excellent. Can you follow us, guys? Where was it?
It's a Hyundai. It looks just like that black car right there.
Looks like the black car just here, did you say?
Yeah. That's my license plate number. Definitely my car. Now it's black, but that's my car.
That is your car, but that is the wrong
not
colour.
the right colour.
That's right. I see what you mean. So is there a car here that is the right colour?
There's a red Hummer over there, but...
Where's the red Hummer? Through there. Can we see that? There's that red Hummer just there. Yeah.
That is my car, but it's... Who painted it black, though?
Our best friend thinks her car is black.
When it's red.
Everybody can see it's red except for her.
Yeah, that's pretty odd.
The game we've entered Anne into has been sponsored by the international poker magazine Bluff Europe, who are promoters of televised tournaments. The other players know that Anne has been given a crash course in poker, but not by me. They think we're making a documentary about a pensioner who up until a week ago couldn't play poker, and that she was part of an experiment to see if a poker guru, or genius, specialising in reading body language, can teach her to win. The organisers have allowed us to film backstage, so I meet Anne outside the studios and show her to a private room away from all the players. Her husband George has also joined us. First of all, they said that they may play quite aggressively, and it's often a way that poker players tend to try and intimidate each other. It's by throwing in huge bets right at the start, really? So there'll be a little bit of that going on. Keep that feeling of relaxation and calmness. Just before the tournament, I have Anne re-engage with her receptive state. This will increase her ability to read her opponent's body language and get a sense of their cards. Open your eyes. Feel a bit... Feel nice? Good. I think that's all.
That's all.
As Anne is taken into the studio, we have a quick word with the match commentators about what they think of Anne's chances.
We've got 5 of the best UK professionals around. They've all proven themselves around the globe, and there's a big cash prize for first and second. So I cannot see her even getting close to the top 2 prizes, and I really don't fancy her chances here today.
She'll get good in maybe two or 3 years, but it's certainly years, not months, no doubt about that.
Absolutely. I'll be surprised if she even lasts 10 minutes. Hi, and welcome to the Bluff Europe Poker Challenge.
As the game lasted almost 90 minutes, we can only show you some of the highlights.
I'm a professional poker player, and I tend to be a steady player that just tends to win more often than I lose.
Biggest tournament win was in Las Vegas in 2005, where I won 50,000 in the World Series main event.
I finished third in one of the World Series tournaments and got 77,000.
Been playing poker off and on since I was 11 years old.
More than 30 years, so probably since before some of my competitors tonight were born.
Been playing poker? Maybe a week, 2 weeks. Not every day, just now and again.
So, it's a one-table sit and go. Every player's sitting down with 2,000 chips.
Blinds start at 25.50, so 40 big blinds each.
10 hands into the game, Anne is still at the table and holding her nerve against the seasoned professionals. Then, as predicted, some of the players started to try and intimidate her by placing large bets.
Nick Presso's gone all in. Let's see if this pushes her out.
In an attempt to score a big win, Nick bet all his chips on this hand. His aggressive play scared off 4 out of his 5 opponents, so it was left to Anne to work out whether he was bluffing or not. She needed to use both her intuition and her observation of his body language. She'd picked up on a tell that made her decide to continue playing and match his large bet.
Call it. Call? Yeah.
She's called.
This was her first big risk. If Anne read him correctly and won this hand, Nick was out of the competition. If she misjudged it, it would have cost her almost all of her chips.
So I've got to turn them over?
Yeah. Oh, that's not what he wanted to see.
It was all down to the turn of the next 2 cards. Anne would lose if either of these was a queen or a 9.
Yeah, queen or a 9. No good.
And takes a scalp.
But she judged it right, and the first professional exited the game.
Knocks out Nick Pickford's Passat.
There we go. Right in.
30 minutes later, and Anne was amazingly still in the game, continuing to win more chips and having seen another 2 poker professionals leave the table. Anne's getting a bit tired now, but she's down to 2 opponents. If she can maintain this level of concentration, she's only a step away from winning one of the 2 cash prizes. Anne has been playing for almost an hour now, and the battle between her and Paul is continuing.
I'm going to go all in.
Paul's gone all in.
Paul had made a major bluff and bet all his remaining chips. To stay in the game and challenge Paul, Anne would have to bet all of her chips too.
Got a hand to cool with.
Paul was unconsciously giving away subtle signs that Anne found easy to read.
Wow, look at Anne's face.
I'll call him, go on.
Yeah, go on.
Look at Paul's face.
Oh,
He's
no.
not happy.
Please don't call me.
Please.
She read his bluff correctly, but she's not safe yet. Anne would still lose if any of the dealer's cards were 10s or 7s.
6, 4, 2, 4, 2.
And Anne flushing chance in the money.
13.
Hats off to Anne.
Oh, things are looking up.
Anne Chance has made the money, knocking Paul Parker out in 3rd position.
Anne was now certain to get one of the 2 cash prizes. She'd been using her new skills perfectly, and with only Jeff remaining, she now focused all her attention on him. It's the last hand, and the game has been playing for 91 minutes. With a pair of aces, Anne felt she had a stronger hand than Jeff, and she was right. The odds were massively in her favour. She decided to risk all her chips on this hand in the hope that Jeff would also do the same.
All in.
I'll call.
What?
And a call.
Jeff's called.
You maniac.
Okay, cards over.
Yeah,
Anne's gamble seemed to have paid off. She was in a great position to win first prize. Only a 9 would stop her.
I need a 9.
Such bad shape. There's only 2 cards in the deck now that can help him. He's a monster dog.
Classic mistake. You
poor Anne.
Anne had played the hand perfectly. It was just a lucky turn of the card that made Jeff the winner and Anne come in second.
And that's it.
Ah, well.
Cash winging its way over to Jeff's bank account and £1,000 for
She's in the money.
for lovely Anne.
Congratulations.
As you saw in the end, it still came down to a lot of luck. She outplayed me on the last hand and I got lucky.